Welcome back to Red Business in Focus with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices, where we're meeting entrepreneurs with big ambition. This week we're joined by Bob Foley of Engineers with Drones. Bob is a licensed aircraft engineer. He spotted a gap though in the drone space and set up Engineers with Drones. He's here to show us what is possible using drones, wind turbine inspections, roof inspections, land mapping, and much, much more. But Bob, more importantly, you brought a drone and everybody here is fawning over it. We're going to get to it in a minute and you can explain to us what it does. But first of all, as with everybody who comes onto the programme, 30 seconds to tell us what you do.
Basically, Engineers with Drones was set up to provide technical drone services to industry. So we'll work with most of the technical industries, be it energy, agri, forestry, pharma, absolutely everybody. If you need technical services, talk to us. If you want to do your wedding, you're probably better off going somewhere else.
So in other words, there's a very specific use for this. It isn't just throwing up a drone, taking a picture and going, isn't it lovely? You do a lot more than that.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say right now, drones are where the internet was in the year 2000. We don't even know that something like Facebook or YouTube is coming down the road. There's so many things we can do. On our side right now, what we're doing, things like mapping entire tracts of land. I could put my drone in the air and tell you how much an entire mountain weighs. I could tell you how much lumber is contained in a forest, but I could also inspect all the pylons in Cork or all the wind turbines in Cork. I can't get right in there. There's no substitute, as any engineer knows, for just getting your fingernail on something and seeing what it's like, but you can do a lot before that.
I mean, I'm fascinated by it because I know that I live relatively close to pylons, and the ESB used to put up a helicopter, and the helicopter would scare the daylights out. You're coming in really low, but they're examining the pylons and the infrastructure. Now that can be done using a drone like this.
Yeah, I got to say, this is where I put my taxpayer hat on, and I'm like, the helicopter's €1,000 an hour roughly, and they're flying it around inspecting wind pylons. The drone is an awful lot less than that. It's a lot safer, it's a lot cheaper, and you can get a lot more done a lot faster with it. And the data that comes out of it, because it can get so much closer to the pylons safely, is much better. So yeah, absolutely. Like, this is one of the low-hanging fruit, let's say, of it. And in fact, the ESB are on that already. They released a tender earlier this year, which of course we applied to, for inspecting a large amount of pylons with drones just like this in the country. So yeah.
Now, you've brought big drone and small drone. It's a bit unfair to small drone to put the big brother out next to him, but tell us the difference between the two.
The biggest difference is something what we call ground risk. So there's two risks in drone world. Air risk, hitting another airplane. Ground risk, hitting something on the ground. If I put this thing up in the middle of Cork City, people start pointing at it and people start worrying. That's 2 bowling balls worth of drone right there.
Yeah, right.
This is about the same as your mobile phone. Somebody would say, ow, but they're not going to be killed by it. Yeah. Whereas this one
could do a bit of damage.
Exactly. So this is technically less capable, but is very, very useful. People would say that's a toy, but actually this is a professional level drone. It's even called a pro drone that is used by me regularly on certain jobs, because this is the best drone for the job at the time.
Is it a case that it's an evolving space? So your business probably, well, it didn't really exist a decade ago, that the drones might have been there, but they were very expensive and not many people would have been able to use them. Whereas now, if you use a drone, you have to make sure that it's in the airspace, it has permission to be there. You need somebody safe in case it does hit something, someone to operate it well. This is effectively a new industry.
100%. The OGs of the drone industry in Ireland started around 2015-16. You know, if you're basically in the grandfather level of drone industry in Ireland, you might have started in 2014-13. So yeah, it's a very new industry. A lot of new actors in the space. So yeah, absolutely.
Now, you are an engineer though, so you're coming at this, you're kind of combining the two, because you were an aircraft engineer, so you know the bits and pieces of what make it fly, but also you know the basics of engineering. Has that helped you develop out the product suite?
Many would say the title engineer is a little bit of it can be troublesome, let's say, in life. Anybody who knows any engineers might say that, but no, it's been incredibly helpful. I knew straight away that it's not about the tool, but it's about the person using it. So for instance, all of our drone operators are industry experienced engineers. That means that when they put the drone up and they're looking at something, they know what they're looking at. They can tell the difference between galvanized steel and stainless steel. They can tell the difference between carbon fiber and fiberglass, things like that, you know. They can tell the difference between a streak of dirt and an actual hairline crack that might make a wind turbine fail in a year's time. And all of those things are important. So yeah, being an engineer in the technical side of drone operations is very important from our perspective.
You set the business up in 2020, so it's a bit of a lockdown baby. It's the same as many other businesses that come through. Yeah. But you're in a different space to a lot of the other companies that are supported by the local enterprise office. You know, the consumable goods, the products that the customer, the end user, is going to be someone on the street. You have a very specific target audience for your customers. So what did the local enterprise office do to help you?
From our side, what they did was they helped us with, I'm not going to lie to you, cold hard cash. We had to ramp up fast. We had to get an employee going fast, and they were able to help us with a grant to do that. Eileen and the guys there in the LEO were absolutely amazing. The process was very clear from the initial call just to see what was possible, all the way through to the end result, and now here we are discussing it. Yeah, they were amazing, and how they helped us was getting an employee on board. They helped us on the technical side as well, just pointing out a few areas where we could improve on the just onboarding employees and stuff like that, and recruitment and whatnot. But yeah, they were fantastic.
Do you see growth, not just in Ireland with this? I mean, the demand for this is everywhere. There's others who are going to do it, but you're getting in at ground level. Can you see yourself expanding?
Absolutely, yeah. So right now we're only 2 years old. A lot of that time was spent setting up. So really, we're only running maybe a year actually out in the world, and already we're getting some very big clients. There's some major tenders coming along that we would hope to be successful in due to where we're positioned in the market. And so yeah, I think there's going to be some major growth, especially in the offshore side. I wouldn't be surprised in 5 years' time if I'm on a boat offshore south of Cork or something like that, where the Kinsale gas field was, looking at giant wind turbines with one of these.
Do you name them? I mean, if I had something this big, I'd nearly give it a name. Have you named your drones?
No, funnily enough, I was discussing that with my partner last night. She actually was saying, you should name your drones. And being the engineer, I was like, why? But then she said, well, we'll name them, So I think my kids might start naming them. One has been assigned Len in honour of Father Ted, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. See how long Len lasts.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Never name something in case something goes wrong.
There you go.
What's the website if people want to look you up?
It's really simple, engineerswithdrones.ie. You'll get everything you need there, and if you send an email or call the phone, you're going to talk straight to me. One thing I would say is an awful lot of people don't know what's possible yet with drones. They're like, I wonder if. Talk to us. We'll tell you straight away. The two big spaces at the moment that we can help are working at height and confined space. Everybody in the industry knows these are the big pain points. If you are working at height, it adds a lot of complexity. If you're putting people in confined space, it adds a lot of complexity. The drones can do an awful lot for you to negate that. So talk to us and we'll help.
Engineerswithdrones.ie. Bob Foley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode. Join us next time, where we'll be joined by Louise Moran of Flourish Emporium. We're kicking off our Shop Local for Christmas next week. First up is a fabulous business which is bottling up magical scents into candles and diffusers and much more. We'll see you next week on Red Business in Focus, with thanks to Cork's local enterprise offices.